Hey guys, what's up? This is the MMA Talk Show, and we're back this week with a great episode for you guys where we are speaking to none other than Tom Theocharis, a real cool guy, who I was really looking forward to speaking to, because we had some exchanges on Instagram, like just talking about some fights, talking about some regular life stuff, and I was pretty sure that the guy like had plenty stuff to say and would be a really cool interview, and I wasn't wrong. It was a really good and fun time speaking with Tom, who was here to talk to us about a huge opportunity for him as he will be fighting for a professional title in Alaska on April 15th. So, for all the details concerning that fight, just listen to our interview that's coming up in a few moments. But I needed to take some time to do a small intro this time because it's a good time for Canadian MMA people. It's a really good time. We've got some Canadian fighters all over the globe fighting and winning some fights and some real important fights. So I'm here to give some shout outs like to four fighters who had some amazing performances recently. Starting with Brad Katona, none other than Brad Katona, a guy who I clearly still don't understand why he didn't have a new UFC contract after his first contract. It was absolutely stupid. The guy won tough, had some amazing UFC fights, some good wins. Man, the guy in tough basically defeated Bryce Mitchell and Kyler Phillips, which is absolutely crazy because he's a 35er and Bryce Mitchell is like one of the best 45ers in the world. And he submitted him. So Brad Katona is an amazing fighter who should have never left the UFC. And since he left, he signed with Brave CF, which is a very good promotion with some high caliber fights. And he was fighting for the Bantamweight Championship of the promotion against Hamza Kuheji. And unfortunately, it's one of the toughest promotion to find the fights after they happened. So I was not able to see Brad's performance, but I know he won a 5-round split decision to be crowned Bantamweight champion of the promotion and continue on his amazing post UFC run. He's now probably the best bantamweight in Canada. We have like three really good bantamweight fighters in Canada. Xavier Alaoui, who was the UAE Warrior champions, he lost that belt and hasn't been active since. We've got Jesse Arnett, who we are going to talk about in a few moments. And then Brad Katona, who is now out of these three guys, one of the champions of the best regional promotions, the best like Brave CF is almost a major promotion. I'd say an international promotion. I'd put it in that category. Let's say we've got the more regional fights like Win Canada, the Unifieds, the BFL, Samurais, whatever. Then the international promotions like UAE Warriors, like Brave CF, like you could even put a CFFC and LFA in that one. Then we've got the more major ones like a 1FC, a PFL, Bellator, the UFC. I'd put Rise into in the international category. So that being said, Brad Katona may be the best bantamweight in Canada at the moment. Just won an important fight and is the Brave CF champion. So congrats to him. Then the week after, we had Michael Dufort, who was screwed by the PFL, like the PFL tends to do to people, as he was competing on the Challenger Series, the fifth week of the Challenger Series, which is like the PFL equivalent to Dana White's Contender Series. And he fought Arut Bogosian and absolutely defeated him by second round, sorry, submission. Spent a lot of time in Pogosian's back. The striking exchanges, I wouldn't say that they were like in favor of Bogosian, but like it was clearly the more technical fighter that was able to lend the better volume. But as soon as Fall went forward and started to let his ends go, it was impossible for Pogosian not to address it. And Fall was able to clinch up from there, have some real good takedowns from the clinch. He was able to just take the back and drag his opponent down a couple of times. And on the final sequence, landed a really cool double leg, which he adjusted to his opponent's defense really well to complete the takedown, and then was able to secure the back once again. And we all know that when Migs falls on your back, you're not getting out. And that's what happened every time that fall was on his opponent's back. Pogosian was not able to get out of there, and on the final sequence, was not able to get out of the choke that was sunk in by Michael Dufort, who won at the end of round two. And why I said that he was screwed is because, like, he had a good performance. There was another guy from Bosnia who had a really cool first round KO. And then there was a fighter, Bruno Miranda, in the main event who defeated Carson Frey, had a pretty good performance, but he had missed weight for that contest. And he was still chosen as one of the two finalists to obtain the contract. And I just really feel like if you miss weight, you shouldn't qualify to get that contract. Like the guys on the Contender Series, when they miss weight, they usually don't get the contract. Usually Dana says, oh, it was a good performance, but you're not getting the contract. Go back to the original scene and maybe just make weight and win another fight, and then we'll think about bringing you in. But like, you can't win the contract of a weight miss. And like, Miranda not only was amongst the two finalists, but he was chosen by the judges and by the president of the PFL to win the contract. So basically, the guy who won the contract missed weight, while Mick Dufort, who had a cool second round submission win and a good dominant performance, like, was not even in consideration to win the darn contract. So I felt like that sucked and he got screwed. But he might be back in the PFL for in 2 or 3 weeks time for the last Challenger Series event. And who knows what's gonna happen there? It's not even official yet, but let's see. Then moving on to this weekend, we had two fighters on the UAE Warrior card. Jesse Arnett, which I spoke about earlier as one of the top 3 bantamweights in the country, and like, he had lost his 2 previous fights, but it was to Ray Borg and Denis Larventiev. Ray Borg, former UFC title challenger, so we know the caliber of fighter he is. As for Lavrentiev, one of the best fighters to never fight for a major promotion like the UFC or Bellator, like, in the world. The guy has basically lost to absolutely no one that was bad and has defeated brutally everybody else. And he won against Jesse Arnett in like quite violent fashion, but still Jesse came out like a real boss in that fight. To be quite honest, took the first round to really get his rhythm going, was getting outstruck a little bit, didn't like eat too much damage, like nothing scary, but did not win the first round, but came in really strong in the second, played the range game very effectively, and really used the range game to be able to set up some takedowns later on. And when he was able to get on top of his opponent, just inside control, dominant, hitting him with elbows, busting him wide open, and really putting a stamp on that fight. A dominant decision against a non-defeated Dagestani's wrestler. And like, the performance you want to see from a guy that, like, yeah, he lost his 2 past fights, but like, you can't really fault him because of the level of opposition he's been facing. So it was really a fight to like prove to us once again that Jesse Arnett is absolutely a top level Canadian fighters, and that's absolutely what he did in that performance. He's one of the best guys, and it's gonna be one of the better performances of the year at the end of the year. So props to Jesse Arnett. He's booked for a unified. He's set to fight for a belt in UAE Warriors in his next fight. At least that's what the president, the CEO of the company, of the promotion, said. So man, shout outs to Jesse. Keep on fighting, keep on being one of the best fighters in the country, even though the guy's aging, and like, he could have called his quits lots of time before, but always fighting back from adversity, and an amazing win for him. And then in the main event, Corinne Laframboise put on an absolute grappling clinic once again against Carolina Jimenez, a non-defeated fighter too. She was 7-0 coming into that title fight. And man, Corinne just like needed one takedown. Basically, that's all she needed. She took her opponent down. She was swept though, but like, I know like what Corinne likes to do. She's an armbar specialist, and she likes to try armbar from the guard. So yes, she was on top. She got swept, and her opponent like kind of in a kneeling of pure joy and pure like adrenaline now that she was on top, just like went for something, got caught into an armbar. Corinne absolutely wrecked her arm apart, and Jimenez never tapped. So we gotta give props to her. We gotta give props to her for that. She never tapped from the submission, but like, you know what was gonna happen in the end. She got a triangle because Corinne, of course, when she tried for like a good minute or two, I say, to adjust to the armbar, try different angles, try different stuff, and like nothing was working. Jimenez was not tapping out. So Corinne just transferred to the triangle, and like she had her in a triangle position, still trying to finish the armbar, but at a point she just got tired of it, really switched to the traditional triangle and went for the choke. And she was able to choke her opponent out, secure that belt. And for Corinne, it's another amazing moment because at a point she was 5-4 in her pro MMA career, and like she's always been a really good fighter, but at a point, she really looked like she was an exciting fighter more than a fighter was looking to win fights. And for the fans, it's always cool to see a fighter just like out there winning and being super exciting in the process and like doing some stuff, even though sometimes it gets her into trouble and she ends up losing the fights that she was winning. But Corinne, like in the past few fights, even her loss to Manon Fiorot, like we really saw her still stay a really exciting fighter, but do less stuff that would put her into trouble. So she's now an exciting fighter who wins her fight. So that's the best of both worlds for her. And she's really like looking forward to moving up a level. I feel like she's ready for the UFC. She's ready for the bigger leagues now more than ever. And that's what we're here wishing for her. Like real good performance from Corinne and real good stuff from Canadian fighters, from Katona to Dufort to Arnett to Corinne. Everybody's winning. Everybody's putting on a show. We're winning belts in major promotions left and right. So everything is well in the world of Canadians MMA. The events have resumed. We've got Samurai. We've got Unified. We've got like BTC, Fight League Atlantic. They're all coming up with some events in the next few months. So we have to be excited for all of that. Is going to be a good one. So let's move on to the interview, guys. It's going to be a good one. Tom Theocharis, I can't wait for you guys to hear about this. Splish splash, I was taking a bath and I noticed I have beautiful balls. Our friends at Manscaped, the global leader in below the men hygiene, are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and air bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday men's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, air, and balls deserve this, and you're going to save big by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code MMA Talk. And man, I'm not lying to you when I tell you this new line of product from Manscaped is absolutely amazing. Like shaving your balls with the lawnmower. That's something you do, but that's not something you do every day. So you can't really enjoy the pleasures of Manscaped every day of your life. But that time is true. That time is over. Because with that new thing, that new line, that new collection of Manscaped designed for your shower routine, you will enjoy the pleasures of Manscaped every day because you shower every day. And don't come here telling me you're not showering every day because I got some words for you if you tell me that. So, what does that entail exactly? So, first off, we've got the Cologne Infused Manscaped Body Wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. You're not sure if you heard that correctly, but this body wash is cologne infused. So it smells good and it does good for your skin. Then it's air care time. You've got the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes in one step. The non-greasy formula has a base of coconut water, green tea, aloe turmeric, and sage. And this applies to your armpit and pubic region too, because you got air over there. And when you got air, you got to use the air material, not the body material. You know what's up? Then, once you hop out the shower, you're going to protect yourself from odor with the brand new Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant, which dries clear and is also cologne infused because you want your deodorant to smell good. Then You've got the hydrating body moisturizer spray, which is amazing for tattoos, which is amazing for dry skin. When you got dry skin out of the shower, you just apply that, moisturize your skin, smells absolutely wonderful. And you even get the lip balm, which is a free gift as if you purchase the entire collection. And that will keep your lips moisturized too. So when you add that to your routine, to your shaving routine with the Lawnmower 4.0, it's just elite. It's just elite stuff, man. This bundle will change your life, and I want all of you guys to make sure to take advantage of this amazing offer. 20% off, free shipping on everything, including this brand new collection at manscaped.com with the code MMA Talk. I repeat, that's 20% off, free shipping on everything you buy with the code MMA Talk at manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine. What's up, guys? We're back this week on the MMA Talk Show, and we've got a special guest who is here to talk about some really interesting development in his pro MMA career. Tom Theocharis. What's up, my man?
How are you? You got my name. You pronounce it correctly. I didn't think you would, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. I just like Google some fights and listen to the announcers, and
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure. And but I had a feeling that I like it would have been weird another way. I feel.
Yeah, no. A lot of people pronounce it Theocharis.
Yeah,
Which,
that's what I thought, but that's just weird, right?
it's just a weird, yeah, it just sounds weird. So it's Theocharis. You got it right. So thank you.
For sure, man. So hey, so I hear you got some exciting news and stuff. So man, what's up?
Yeah, so I'm fighting April 15th in Alaska for a 185-pound title. It's against Jesse Hall. He's from there. I'm really excited to go down and fight in Alaska. It's going to be a great opportunity, and I'm excited to collect a championship title while I'm there and bring it back to Ontario. So
For sure, man. So you're gonna go fight for a belt in Alaska. That's crazy.
yeah.
Where
So,
exactly? Or one of the two
it's
towns?
it's an hour, so it's like 45 minutes from Anchorage. So Anchorage is obviously the big city. I think it's called Wasilla or something, but it's 45 minutes from Anchorage, and it's like a population size of like 10,000 people. It's going to be really interesting to go there and compete, and I'm really excited. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Not many people can say they've been to Alaska to go and compete and fight for a professional MMA title. So I think it's going to be something that I can knock off the bucket list and be really proud about after a win.
Yeah, for sure. Is it for Alaska FC?
No, it's actually
No,
for
I think
it's
they're done, huh?
I don't know. It's for like Ace Combat Entertainment. It's like a smaller show. They're very regional. But I've been talking to them. Um, you know, I reached out and we're talking to them, and then they wanted me to fight in March. Didn't really work out. Then he just randomly messaged me and goes, "Hey, do you want to fight this guy, Jesse Hall, in April? It's for a belt." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." It's a great matchup, and it's for a belt. And I haven't competed in a while, and I've just been looking for a fight. Not only that, but I've been looking for to take the correct matchup. I don't want to just walk in there and fight a guy that's like 10-0. This guy's 2-1. Seems like he's a bit more of a grappler. He's like shorter, bit stockier. But I mean, it's a great matchup in my eyes.
For sure. And how do you get to Alaska? Is there like a direct flight to
No,
Anchorage or?
no, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Oh,
So it's like from Toronto to Charlotte, which is a complete opposite direction. Then we go
Charlotte, North Carolina?
yeah, then we go from Charlotte
Fuck.
to Seattle, which is like a 5-hour flight, and then we go from Seattle to Anchorage, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be worth it. I mean, I'm really excited, like I said, but fuck it, right? Like you got to got to make some sacrifices.
Oh, for sure, man. When there's a belt on the line, it's a huge opportunity for you. You gotta take that, man. You can't
Yeah,
let that
no,
slip.
for sure. Yeah, I'm really excited to add a professional title to my accolades. So
Yeah, so man, like you said, it's been a while since your last fight. So I was wondering, what's the training situation looking like right now?
So what happened was I fought last February, and then I went right back into a training camp, and I was supposed to fight. I think it was like May 1st or something. And then I ended up breaking my arm in training camp. I ended up taking a kick from, I don't know if you know Gord Cunningham. He
Yeah,
fought he
the guy who fought the crazy the crazy
Ukrainian
taekwondo
guy.
guy, Ukrainian guy in the BFL.
Yeah.
That was an amazing fight too.
Oh
Gordon
yeah.
did really good with
Yeah,
that one.
Gord's he's a tough motherfucker. And I mean, like he likes to throw. And what happened was when him and I spar, it's like no holds bar. We just like to go at it. It's a very bad idea. I do not suggest it to anyone. But what happened was I was backing him up, backing him up. I was using my hands, and he just kind of threw like a roundhouse kick. It was sort of out of desperation because I was like, crowding him. And then I block it, and I block it kind of like this. I didn't block it with my body because I didn't see it coming. Block it like this. I'm like, I'm like, fuck. My arm's broken. And he's like, no, no. I'm like, yeah, my arm is broken. And so I just basically got undressed, drove myself to the hospital. Sure enough, it was broken. And the recovery took roughly like 3 months. It was horrible. Like it was awful. And then I went back into training camp like soon as I was able to, and then some things happened. I had a fight booked, and then some things happened. And then I resumed training camp in October, and then I was supposed to fight in December. That didn't happen.
That was tarps off, right?
Yeah, tarps off. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah man,
Yeah.
fuck. That one hurt me a lot, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I was super ready. I had some plans, like back in Niagara, we had some
Yeah.
stuff to do and shit, and like I was looking forward to go, and like the exact week of the event, man. Like I just seen everything starting to fall through, and
Yeah. The
like
Omicron
and
bullshit.
I was like still believing that come on, man, it's
Yeah.
because I'm in Quebec, so we see the Quebec stuff going down,
Oh
and
yeah.
we're like, oh yeah, but Ontario, they're a little less crazy than us habitually, like with COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, man, fucking Ontario comes, and that was probably the first time Ontario went harder than Quebec.
Yeah, it was
To be
insane.
honest, it was
And
crazy,
I
man.
was talking to one of the matchmakers. Like I still talk to Sergio a lot, and he was saying basically like if the event was just one day earlier on the Friday, it could have happened. Because I'm not going to get into like kind of what happened, but like I mean, it was just a very, very shitty situation. And you got to give it to like the organization. Like they kind of went through a shit ton, and the fighters as well. Obviously, like Scott Hudson cut down to 155, and like it was the day of the weigh-ins that they found out. I was just like thinking about him. I'm like, oh my god, this guy
He's a big guy too.
7 a.m. because he's a huge guy. Every time I see him, I'm like, I don't know how he does it. Cuts to 155, but he did it. He was on weight, and I just felt like so bad for that guy. So yeah.
I know that's horrible, but like it's such a bad situation because like you've got like the government, like the authorities and stuff, you got the promotion, you got the venue, and like
Yeah,
there's so many like different parties
I
who
know.
are trying to look good, like, and I know the promotion, like basically they just were there and were open for the better news, and there's not much they could do
Yeah,
about it,
there's
but
nothing. No.
like there's a government, but then there's the venue too, that like you don't want to be the venue that like breaks the rules on the first day.
Yeah,
So
or be
people were
this.
trying to save face, and the rules weren't even clearer too, right?
No, and they also, I think the biggest thing was the venue didn't want to be a super spreader, known as a super spreader. So
Exactly.
like people didn't want, they didn't want people coming to the event. Then there's a massive breakout, and it doesn't look good on the MMA promotion, it doesn't look good on the venue, it doesn't look good on the athletic commission. It was just all these different avenues where like it came down and collapsed, unfortunately, and it didn't happen. So
yeah, we had the same thing here with gyms in Quebec.
oh yeah,
Like a really bad situation where the like gyms were closed, and there was this one guy who like he was from Quebec City, so not the same part, but
Yeah.
like he was really local in his local media, really vocal about
Yeah.
how they shouldn't be closing gyms, and
Yeah.
like he had the right speech. To be honest, the guy was saying real stuff,
Yeah.
but still he was being portrayed in the media as like the guy that does not want his gym to close, so he's like anti restrictions,
Oh
anti
yeah.
this, and
It's a lose-lose
he did
situation,
not close
man.
his gym. He did not respect the rule. He did not close his gym,
Yeah.
and there were cases of COVID, which turned into like a complete explosion, and there were like basically 500 COVID cases related to this guy's gym. So when they reopened the gyms after, every time that there was like one small thing happening, the gyms were the first one to close because we had
Yeah.
like a mega rise in COVID cases because
Yeah.
of that single guy. And like
That's crazy.
sadly, this guy, man, he just passed away like recently, like
Oh,
basically just passed away, and like people were there. I just hope he didn't commit suicide because they were really like destroying him in the media like beforehand
wow.
and stuff. But
That's
like
horrible.
fortunately and by fortunately enough, I wouldn't say that, but like he did not commit suicide. Like he died
Yeah.
of natural causes and stuff.
Okay.
So that wasn't related, but
Yeah.
like just that puts kind of in perspective to do what the venue were not
Yeah.
wanting to happen, because it could have happened. Because like, to be honest, I think COVID went pretty well, but in December,
Yeah.
at a point near Christmas, I basically knew 10 plus people who had
Oh,
COVID.
oh, I got it from so what happened was the week of the fights, like I was hanging around like, some of the fighters and like the coaches, and I went to I was at Corinne's gym. I think I did a workout there. And at the same time, the crew of the promotion, they were getting the cage, and because they were getting it at Corinne's gym at House of Champions in Stony Creek, saw them. And I think a few days later on December 23rd, I tested positive for it. And so did like a bunch of the guys from the promotion as well. So like it was going around, and it was at that point, spreading like wildfire. And unfortunately, it was during the time where the fight card was supposed to happen. Like if you would have had that fight card a week before, then it would have happened. My fight got canceled on the Tuesday, thank God. And I was obviously super upset about it. And then then the whole event just got canceled on the Friday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
rolled with a guy on December 23.
Yeah.
And on the 24th, he texted me like, I just tested positive for
Oh
COVID.
God.
I was like, ah, man, fuck that. And like, man, maybe I shouldn't say that,
Yeah.
but I just kept it on the low. Like I didn't want my mother like to. It's because like
Yeah.
I got a small family. My mother, she's a unique child. Like she does not have siblings at all.
Yeah.
I got a sister, and we've got my grandfather. My grandmother is dead, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we're basically 4 people. And my
Yeah.
grandfather, he was in the process of moving from his home to a retirement home and stuff.
Okay.
So like I didn't want for Christmas to be canceled because I was
Yeah.
in contact with a guy and stuff.
Yeah.
So man, I just didn't say nothing. And my sister came to the party, and she wanted to do a test
Yeah.
because she was supposed to go to Florida the day after.
Oh wow.
And she tested positive too, and she was with us on December 24th.
Oh my God.
And I never caught it. My mother never caught it. My grandfather, we never caught it. I'll know how it happened, but like I guess they say
That's
weed
crazy.
is good for
Weed is good
for
for
COVID.
ya.
So I guess I smoked enough weed to not catch COVID.
Jesus, man, that's good though. That's a good sign then. But I mean, yeah, I like I said, I tested positive on December 23rd, and I didn't want to like go home and give it to my parents and grandparents, and it wasn't a big deal for me. Like whatever, I missed Christmas this year. Like not a big deal. I ended up going to a friend's. I ended up having friends who had COVID as well. Like I live in Toronto, and some friends, they had COVID as well. So I just went over there on Christmas and New Year's and Boxing Day because it's my friend's birthday on Boxing Day. But my family, we're from Stratford and London area, where Adrenaline Training Center is. And so that's about roughly an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from Toronto. I didn't really want to make that drive and, give it to all my friends and all my family. So I just kind of stuck around Toronto and chilled and had some drinks with my friends who also tested positive for it, and that's basically about it.
Oh, that's cool, man. Since
Yeah,
everybody's got it, let's do just some parties with people
yeah,
that got it, parties with people that don't have it.
exactly.
So, oh, you're from London area, man. That's interesting because there was just an event in London,
Yeah,
and I heard some interesting feedbacks about the city. So what's up
yeah.
with London, man?
Oh my, what feedback did you hear about the city?
Oh, I
Oh,
heard that
no.
there was some good food and some really bad people.
Bad people? Like in what sense? Give me. I know there's bad people, but there
Yeah.
it depends how you define bad people.
First off, like at the hotel,
Yeah.
when one of my buddy came back from the BTC card, he just fought on the card and he was happy he won and
Who
stuff.
was it?
Kevin,
Kevin.
Kevin Bastien
Oh, I
Popoli.
love Kevin. Yeah.
Fucking guy is amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, when he was on my French podcast, he told us that he came back from the event with Chris and D Marks and like
Yeah.
everybody that was there, and like there was a guy all bloodied up with his shirts ripped apart in the lobby of the hotel.
Holy shit.
And Kevin, like, he wasn't asking too much question because, like, it's the fighter hotel. Maybe the guy just like came back from the fights and
Yeah.
because guy get punched that fight. So
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a guy that got that was from the fight. The guy
It's a random
basically
guy.
got assaulted in his hotel room by a random guy.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure where the hotel was. However, I went to university in London, Ontario, and let me tell you, it was pretty crazy time. It was an amazing city. I love it. It's home. Like anytime I like going back and I like training with the guys there, like Chris Hordeski. He's been my coach since day one, and I've been training with those guys since day one. And like Mark Hominick, like when I was 17 years old, I was like his main training partner for like his fight against, what was his name? That really tall guy.
Did he fight George Roop?
He fought George Roop. It wasn't George Roop. It was that Scarecrow guy.
Oh yeah, the weird.
I think it was in Montreal too, to be honest with you.
Yes, I remember that fight. I think it
Yeah.
was a GSP event.
Yeah. And then Sam Stout was on that card too. I think he fought John McDessie. So yeah, like all those guys, man, like that's like my family down there. I love going down and training with those guys and, spending time with them. And, I love Toronto, but, I would say London is definitely, I would consider it home.
For sure. I really love Jesse Ronson, man.
Oh my God. That guy.
This guy's just one of my favorite fucking guys in the world.
Dude, he's a beast, man. Like I've trained with a lot of guys, and he's got to be one of the most talented I've ever trained with. He's an incredible fighter, man. He's so good. It's ridiculous.
Man, and he's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking hilarious. He always got some like bright to say, and I just fucking love him. When he used to fight for TKO, like I know that like Patry was really like angling for like Quebec versus Ontario rivalries, like the Jourdain and Morgan against TJ Laramie,
TJ and Morgan and
and all that. But like when Jesse Ronson came, I was like, how can I not love this guy? Man, he's just fucking hilarious. I can't root against him. He's supposed to fight one of my friends, and I don't even want him to lose.
Well, so I remember when I was at I think it was TJ's second fight versus Morgan, and I'm really good friends with TJ. And like I go out there, I'm at the event, and like TJ's walking out, he's just getting booed. Like he just no one liked him.
None of it.
No one liked him. Everyone's just giving him a hard time. So yeah, the Ontario Quebec rivalry was definitely prominent. And I miss TKO, man. Those events were incredible. They're on UFC Fight Pass. And when I was at that event, it was incredible. Like it was at the La Tohu, I believe.
Yep. Which is
an incredible venue.
That's a venue for circus, I believe.
It's an awesome venue.
The way that it's made, it's amazing.
It was, and from my understanding, when people were, I was like, oh, like I wish it was at the Bell Center, and everyone's like, no, the La Tohu or whatever you call it is much better. It's much more intimate because of the crowd. Where the Bell Center, in contrast, it's obviously bigger. It's like it's less intimate and that sort of stuff. And I really enjoyed the TKO show. It was an incredible show live. And you know what? Samurai did an incredible job on their last show. I wasn't there obviously, but I saw the broadcast and they did incredible. They're awesome. I'm really hoping they kind of spring up and really take over. So
Yep, the next event is May 6th.
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
ready to roll on from now. Like we had a fuck up with man, some
commission. I heard
commission
about this.
bullshit about like
Yeah,
stupid stuff, man. But now I think it's resolved. So we're finally like, it's been crazy because in 2020 and most of 2021, like, but also a little bit of 2020, there were like so many fighters that were making their pro debut all around, like in
yeah,
Ontario and BC and Alberta, and like
yeah.
here our amateurs are not fighting, like, but they're
No,
all
no.
gonna be making their pro debuts now, and
Yeah,
like there's some of them that have been training like with pro fighters for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years now,
yeah.
and that are super ready. So the next event is going to be really exciting for that.
Yeah,
And
that's very annoying. From my understanding, what happened was they weren't allowing debut pros or something. They had to have like 25 fights or something like that.
oh,
Is that it?
bro, it's crazy, man. It's just like basically in Quebec, the two only amateur combat sports that are legal
Yeah.
are boxing and judo because they got an Olympic comedy
Hmm.
of some sort. And that's because of like, bro, there was some bullshit fights between promoters of like BJJ tournaments or Muay Thai events
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and like they called the cops on each other
That's
all
crazy.
the time, and
That's
the cops
crazy.
just got tired, man, and they
They're
were like,
like,
okay, this law forbids you from doing organized fights, and that's
wow.
kind of the law that is forbidding for fight clubs and like
Yeah.
underground fights where people
Yeah.
bet and stuff, but like the law is not clear enough that you can't put these sports into that category.
Yeah.
So they just made it illegal, and now to make it legal again, we've got to go to court and like make
Oh
the
my
law
God.
change. But like the major problem here is that the way that the fucking province is done, like on the government level, is that, man, it's stupid. So the ministry that belongs to us, like that we got to refer to and go basically
Yeah.
take to court for them to change the law. It's
Hmm.
business is like it's the education ministry,
Yeah.
basically. So it's
Yeah.
called education, sports, and leisures. But 90% of everything they do is towards education because, man, our schools are falling apart and there's no ventilation. There's like,
No.
it's super bullshit around there. So they got no time for us. They don't give a fuck, man. It's been
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years. Like, I think I done one tournament as a blue belt in Quebec,
Wow. That's
and I've been
ridiculous.
purple belt for 2 years now.
Well, the same thing in Ontario. You're not allowed to compete in amateur MMA. There's no events here. But not only that, like there's really not that many even, I'm a kickboxer basically, and there isn't really many amateur kickboxing events anymore. So like not only that, at the end of the day, there's not even pro fights in Ontario. We have BTC, which, they're here every, once every 4 months. They do a great job. However, there's no feeder system in Ontario. And that's why you see guys like me going all the way to Alaska to compete. It's like, well, I was going to compete for Tarps Off. I was really excited to be fighting at home for the first time. Like, it was incredible. All my friends and family were going to come. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, there's really no feeder system in Ontario for amateurs and pros. And that's why you got guys having to go to like, Alberta, BC, and, the States. And they're these guys, when you're going to the States, they're matching you up with like guys, like I said, that are like 10-0. And they're like, why don't you take this fight? I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Why am I not going to take this fight? It's ridiculous. Like I got offered a fight Kyle Stewart at one point in, I think it was February, and he's like 14-5, just
Uh,
coming off the UFC, and like they're expecting me to fight. I'm like, I got offended. I go, who in the right mind would take this fight at this
yeah,
point in my
it don't
career?
even make sense. Like the guy
It
got
doesn't make
50 fights,
sense.
you got 8.
Yeah, I've had 8 pro fights, and you're wanting me to compete against a dude that's 14-5 who just came off a UFC run, and all this bullshit, and then you say no, and they're like, oh, well, you don't want to fight, blah blah blah, this and that. They make it, they turn things on you, and then I'm like, well, you know what, you're fucking pathetic, and then you're also paying me $600 to fight this guy. I'm like, what I don't know. It's just dealing with all this bullshit. So that's why when I got offered this matchup where this guy's 2-1, it's for a belt, it's in Alaska, you know, he seems like a pretty tough guy, you know, and you know, I just said, okay, well, on paper, this is a very clean matchup. I like it. You know, I was planning on moving back down to 170, but I'm huge. Like I hate cutting weight, man. Like I walk around at like 215, and like it's not easy cutting weight. It's not, and especially when fights get canceled, like left, right, and center. Like I've probably had 10 fights canceled within the last year and a half, but again, that's the name of the game, man. I'm in MMA. That's just what happens. So
yeah, no, that's crazy, man. And like, yeah, it's weird that there's no amateur MMA in Ontario. Like here in Quebec, that was basically the main problem, is that we still do amateur MMA.
Yeah.
But it's on Indian reservations, and now the commission does not want to recognize it anymore.
No.
So basically, you got 10 amateur fights in Quebec, but to them, it's like you're 0-0 and you never fought.
Makes no sense.
So they don't want to license you, except if you book an exam with them, which I don't know of what it consists. Because what are they gonna make you do? Like do 2 rounds of bags, and like if you know how to throw 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna let you fight. Like, man,
this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Because I could go past that exam now, but I'm pretty sure that if I fought you tomorrow, you probably beat my ass, man. So.
That's funny, man. No. Well, MFL does a great job though. Like they have. Dude, I know guys from London that are competing.
Yeah, the Munda guys are always like 23 deep at these events.
They've got like 50 guys fighting on there. Like, I don't understand where they get these guys from.
You see Chris, and like they all walk out together, then they look like London's mafia or something like that.
Oh my God, it's good. But then even from London alone, you got London Muay Thai guys fighting on there. You got Adrenaline Training Center guys.
Yeah, I know Gordon fought on there, right?
Gord fought on.
Wasn't he the champ?
He was. I think he was at 205. And then you got, again, like the Monday guys, and then you got guys from that Niagara Top team who are fighting on that card. And so, like, it's a good feeder system, man. Like
in a super ghetto high school in the middle of an Indian reservation where they get flooded 3 times a year, man.
Do they really?
Like, it's super sad, but like,
really?
Man.
Well, how does this work? Like, do they pay for the fighters like hotels and stuff? Like, how do they make money off this? Is what I want to know, because they have so many fighters. It's like, okay, what do you do here? Like, are you paying for the fighters' hotels? And like, what extent? Like, are you paying gas mileage? And like, how many tickets are you guys selling? Because like, to me, they've got like literally like 20 fights on each card, and like, I don't understand. Like, how are they like logistically doing this? I'm genuinely interested, because they do a great job at making these events happen and giving these fighters a good spotlight to get experience and that sort of stuff. But for me, I'm just genuinely interested on like what the logistics are of this kind of thing.
Yeah, to be honest, it's quite surprising the turnout at these events. To be honest, like it's in a gymnasium of a ghetto high school, like I just said. So once you sit like 150 people there, it's good. But fuck, man, they do it. They still do it. And I know he's got some partnerships with like brands and stuff.
Okay.
Around the area, and so I guess that's how he makes it worth it. And the pay-per-views, man.
Yeah.
He's got the pay-per-view stream, and if you like one of your training partners fighting and you're from London, you're gonna buy that shit.
I think I bought it when Gord fought, so that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's like, and it's not known enough for someone to like just hack it and put it on streams. Like, so like you won't find an illegal MFL stream.
No.
So you gotta buy this shit if you want to see it.
You did find an illegal MFL stream. That would be kind of funny though.
Man, that's when you know that these people that are streaming, man, they're like, whoa, if you're hacking fucking MFL, bro, you're deep in the game.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm excited for this fight, and I've been in training camp basically, for fuck's sake, since October. Like, it's ridiculous. I went to Vegas in November with Elias. We stayed there for about a month, And then I found out my fight was canceled. And then, you know, like I just kept training because I'm like, okay, what else am I going to do? You know, like I don't have, you know, I want to compete. I want to train. I'm, you know, I'm getting to that age where I need to kind of make a splash. So I'm just hyper focused, you know, and then I got COVID. So I probably took a few days off, tested negative within like 3 days. And then, you know, went right back into training camp, went to Vegas again. I was there for 3 weeks. And then my fight obviously got canceled. That was supposed to happen in February. You know, came back, still trained, finally got this fight. I'm ready to go, and I'm really excited. So,
yeah, man, we can't wait for that one. Let us know if, because like you said, it's quite regional and stuff. But if like there's any way that we
yeah,
can watch it like a
yeah,
stream or a pay per
I'll
view or
definitely let you
whatever,
know.
yeah,
I'll
let me
definitely
know
let
so
you
I
know.
could share it on the on my story or stuff, so people
For
be
sure. I
able
appreciate that.
to tune in the fights, man, because we need to see those Canadian fighters fight. And I know, like, I've never really seen a boring fight from you. You go
Yeah, I
all
appreciate
you
that.
go all out, like
Yeah,
whatever happens,
yeah,
you got
yeah,
that
no,
style that's entertaining to watch.
yeah,
So
I appreciate that. No, that means a lot that you say that. And I think I do have that reputation right now of like, you know, go in, fucking fight. And then what, you know, like I don't like fighting the wrestlers. That's pretty well known. I do work a lot of wrestling. It's a lot better now. And so fuck it. If I'm fighting a wrestler, he's getting his ass kicked anyway. So here we go.
yeah, for sure, man. So that was a lot of fun, my man.
I appreciate that. It's really nice to talk to you. And I love your page, by the way. It's incredible. So keep
Yeah.
up the good work.
Thank you very much. And man, we'll keep in touch. And man, maybe sometimes you'll be fighting for Samurai and I'm gonna be calling your
Yeah.
fight. Who knows?
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I've got a lot of training partners fighting at MFL. So if you're there, would love to meet you. Have a beer. So
Yeah, for sure, man. Tell me next time you're like when you're in Quebec, whatever, to just tell me and we'll make it happen, my man.
for sure, man. You take care. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye.